Okay, well, welcome back to the Long Dark, playing the long game series. Yes, we're in it for the long game. It is still the day after the cook-off before. Yes, we did that massive cooking where we did our hunting in the last video. We've done the cooking off. We've got all that meat, but now we need to go back and get the hides and the pelt that we collected from our wolfy friend on the other side and we left in the shop. So that's what we're going to do today. Done a little bit of housekeeping. I have a little bit of that venison with me, but obviously that's going to make me very tempting to the wolves, so I'm not going to carry too much of it. I've got rid of a lot of the water. We actually made a good 10 litres of water off the back of that work that we did in the last video, and I've got a few of the canned foods and things which are easy to carry. I also have my bedroll with me this time, so I'm not going to look like an idiot when I get to the other end. If I need to sleep, I actually have my bedroll with me. So let's get moving. Now, there is a deer wandering about not too far away, but I haven't brought my rifle. I've actually left my rifle behind in the farmstead. Let's just check the temperature. -7, pretty good travelling weather. Nice and clear as well. Now, obviously, if we could bring down that particular deer, that would be brilliant, because we're not very far from the farmstead. But right now, it's not a good idea. And the reason for that, very simply, is that we would not be able to use all of that meat up before it went off. So it's probably worth using some of that meat up before we think about hunting another deer. Obviously, the hide and the gut we want for crafting, but we don't want to waste any of those resources. In fact, I can shortcut and go this way slightly, can't I? We don't want to waste any of those resources. So we want to wait until we've used up a little bit of the meat that we already have. I didn't harvest the meat from the wolf either, which I might do when we go back this way. I might still do it. Oh, there's a can over there. Let's go and we'll just collect that can. The cans are like little secret caches around the game. They're a lot of them have messages on for from Kickstarter backers. Some of them, the messages are a little bit short. This story is not yet written. There you are. So that one hasn't actually got a story attached to it, but may well do in the future. Okay, so I'm going to carry on trotting. I'm going to go back down this road. We're going to get back to the shop. We're going to collect all of the stuff, and we may well go looking for that other wolf, the one that we fought in the last video, just to see if it did drop, and if it did drop, whether we can collect its pelt as well. So I'll see you when we get back to the shop. Okay, so we're coming up to the shop. We've just tipped into hypothermia risk. There is our wolfy friend over there, the one that we brought down. Or the one that we know that we brought down. The weather's starting to deteriorate a little bit, so I'm kind of a little bit... Part of me wants to go over here and do a bit of harvesting, but another part of me is thinking, is that such a good idea? There's our campfire that we live next to the deer. The deer has disappeared, as you would expect. The wolf's still here though. Push ourselves over what I think is like a little oh, I'm not going to be able to get back up here, am I? It's going to be too steep. Go round. There we go. Now, obviously, this is the one that we know that we brought down. The other one is going to be quite a long way away over there. Just trying to decide. 40 minutes. Might be a bit... Oh, it's longer with the knife because it's frozen. Let's go for it.
So hungry.
I know we're cold. Okay. Right, let's get ourselves into the shop. Now, obviously, one reason why I'm a little bit hesitant to take the wolf meat is because with carnivore meat, so that's wolves, bears, I don't think that applies to the moose. I haven't really encountered the moose yet in the long dark, but the wolves and the bears, if you eat too much of the meat from them, you get the intestinal parasites affliction, excuse me, which can seriously affect your condition very, very quickly and cause your condition to drop. So you have to be a bit careful when you're eating it, which is why I'm a little bit hesitant to take it, because I'm kind of thinking, am I really going to get much benefit out of it? But I suppose it's there. It's not cost us anything really to get it. We're inside. All's good. Everything that we dropped is still here. We may as well leave it laying out. Obviously, it's been curing away. while we've been over at the other side. So just in case you don't know how the curing mechanic works in the game, or the crafting stuff in the game, you collect hides, pelts and guts from animals that you kill or you find in the environment, and you can craft with them. You can make clothing with them. But before you can do that, you have to cure them, dry them out, basically. So you have the fresh pelts, the fresh hides, the fresh gut, and the gut's obviously your thread, if you like.
I don't drink soon.
You have all of that fresh. When it's fresh, you can't craft with it. Before you can craft with it, you have to cure it, which essentially is drying it out. And to do that, you have to lay it on the floor or on a table, or you have to lay it out inside, basically. And it has to be inside in an actual indoor location. So a cave that you just walk into doesn't count. It has to be an indoor location. So it has to be a location where there's essentially a loading screen, a transition from indoors to outdoors. And you have to lay it out, and you have to leave it for a certain amount of time for it to cure. How long it takes depends on exactly what it is. The bigger hides and pelts take longer than the gut to cure. So you basically have to leave them until they're fully cured, and then you can craft with them. So these guts here are 20% cured. So they're 20% of the way to being ready to use. It only works when they're laid out. It does not work when they're in your inventory or if they're in a container. They have to be laid out. So lay them on the floor like this, they're going to be curing. You can see here that that's curing a little bit faster than that. So what we need to do is pick them up and move them so that they are back in our main base camp. So that we can stockpile them basically until we have enough to actually craft with. So that's what we're going to do. But I'm going to leave them out here so they're curing while we're here, because we're going to be sleeping here overnight because it's going dark. And we're cold, and we're hungry, and we're thirsty. So we need to sort ourselves out. So let's we'll just do our little bit of basic survival-y stuff. Obviously we've got this wolf meat. I'm not going to cook it here. It's already at 60% condition. If I lose that, I'm not too gutted about it. Oh, trust me to just bring the small bit of blinking venison with me. What an idiot. Oh, I just left one piece of my inventory. I didn't actually look which piece it was. It's only a small piece. Oh, flippin' heck. Okay. Well, that was a silly thing to do. When you harvest meat from one of the animals in the Long Dark, you always have a tiny little bit that kind of makes up the total. Well, it breaks it down into 1 kilogram chunks, but there's always a little bit left over, and that little bit is virtually useless. It doesn't give you any real calorie value, but it looks exactly the same in the inventory menu. You have to remember to check, and I didn't, so I now look like a bit of an idiot because I was relying on that to get me through the night. That's the whole reason I brought it with me. So I've had to use my canned food to bring up my calorie levels, but that's all good. That's all good. It's done, hopefully enough to get us through the night. Fluids up. So yeah, we're all good. So let's get the bedroll out. We'll sleep through the night, and I shall see you in the morning. Okay, so welcome back to the morning in the Long Dark, but as you can see, it's not exactly looking brilliant outside. It's sounding a bit rough. Let's just stick our head out and see what it actually looks like. Yeah. I don't think we're going anywhere for the near future. Let's go back inside. Actually, can we take use of this? If I light a fire here, can I cook this wolf meat? Because one thing I did notice, I need to make my decision pretty quick because it's quite cold. The conditions dropped quite a bit. It's actually got down almost 20% overnight, so I'm actually going to lose this pretty quick if we're not careful. So let's see if we can start a fire. I haven't actually got much fuel with me. Okay, let's not worry too much about that then. We haven't got very much fuel. Right, so we're a little bit stuck at the minute. We are not going. I'm still crouching. We are not going anywhere. Things are curing now inside, so that's all good. We've got plenty of water. I'm just a little bit short of food because I've had to eat virtually all of the food I have with me to get through the night. So let's pass it. We'll pass a little bit of time. Let's just do it. This is going to start having an effect on our condition. We'll just do a 3-hour time pass. It's looking a bit brighter, a bit more light. It's probably a good sign. Quite a lot more light actually.
Need something to eat.
Okay, let's just drink some water. Obviously, we're a little bit short of food, so I'm a little bit hesitant to go ahead and use the food at the moment. Oh, well, it looks brighter, but it's certainly not. Oh, blimey. Okay. We ain't going anywhere. We ain't going anywhere. Okay, well at least these are curing, so we're not exactly wasting our time, but we can't exactly do a great deal either. Let's, no choice but to pass time for a little bit longer. Let's do another hour. And let's try again. It's still, the wind is still howling, I can still hear it, so... Ah, okay. I think we are going to be in real trouble. We're not going to be able to light a fire here. It's too windy. And it's too cold. Okay, I don't want to eat that food just yet that I have. I've still got one can of food left. I don't want to eat it just yet. It's kind of weird how the Long Dart's calorie things work. And I think it is slightly being changed, slowly being modified. But basically, the bulk of your condition improvement is overnight while you're sleeping. But if you have to have all 4 of your survival gauges at maximum. Oh, well, not at maximum, but they have to be in the white. If they drop into the red, you start to lose condition. But if they're in the white, all is good, and your condition will build up. Which means that you have to eat before you go to bed to have maximum calories to get you through the night, so you don't end up losing condition while you're sleeping. Which tends to mean it's better not to eat during the day, but to eat at night. Just eat enough during the day, just to keep it out of the red. If you've got little bits that you can have like cattail stalks, which is what I've been doing if you've noticed, just to keep you out of the red, and then have your main calorie intake at night so that the gauge goes all the way up, and then you go through the night, your condition builds all the way up, you don't end up losing condition. However, that's kind of the opposite to what it is in real life, isn't it? You kind of do the other way around in real life, but it's just one of those quirks of the video game, I think, that one. Okay, so we are a little bit stuck then. We can't really do a great deal at the moment. The wind does sound like it's died down a little bit, though. It's still a bit blowy, but it's still... Let's just wait for another hour. Oh, God, no, it's sounding even worse now. Let's have a look. Oh, dear. Okay. We are a little bit stuck. Okay, what I think I'm going to do, let's, bear with me. I'm going to wait this out, and then hopefully by the time we come back, we should be good to get moving. Okay, good news. It's finally died off to a point where I think we can probably make the trip. It's starting to warm up a little bit. It's calmed down. We can see where we're going, so all is good.
So hungry.
What I had to do, though, I had to eat that soup that I had, and I had to sleep virtually for the entire day. We're actually coming up to nightfall now, so we've virtually gone through the entire day sleeping, simply because my tiredness gauge was going down, so I had to do something to bring it back up again. So rather than pass time, I decided to actually sleep. But to do that, obviously, build my calories up, otherwise we're going to lose a lot of condition. So condition is maximum, so that's good. I have 0 food, apart from this wolf meat, which is now at 29%, and is going to need to be cooked pretty soon, or we're going to lose it. But it was too windy out there to light a fire, so we're a little bit stuck with that, really. But things have calmed down a bit, so let's get ourselves moving. We're going to trek back to the farmstead. I'm not going to go looking for that other wolf, the one we brought down. I'm not going to go looking for that. It's probably a bit too far off the trail. Have we seen this? Yeah, we have. I did actually spy that out the corner of my eye when we were here the other day, but I kind of just ignored it at the time. Oh, excellent. We're walking into a headwind, which of course slows us down, so this trek back's going to be even longer. Obviously, I'm a little bit short of firewood as well, so if I pass through any of the areas where there's firewood, I just want to pick some of that up. In fact, you see, sometimes I kind of think, yeah, let's take a shortcut. Let's go a slightly quicker route. But then I just think, if the weather goes bad and the visibility disappears, I'm just going to get lost if I do that. But I'm going to come this way because I want to pick up some sticks, because I do not have any firewood, really. And if the worst happens and we get stranded out here in a blizzard, hunkered down in a camp somewhere, I'm going to need to have a fire going, so I need to make sure I've got some fuel. So let's pick up the sticks. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of a shortcut. I'm going to try and keep the road in sight though. So I know if I just keep going in a straight line, I am following the road. Of course, by doing this, we're getting quite close to the red barn as well, so we can drop into the barn if all else fails. Okay, so I'm going to trek back to the farmstead or the barn, whichever one I wind up at. So I shall see you on the other side, because I'm pretty sure you don't want to watch me trudge just through the wilderness with nothing going on. So I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so I'm coming back online now because I have attracted a little bit of a well, he's not a friend, he's a fiend. Yeah, I've got a wolf on my tail. Obviously, I am carrying meat. It is wolf meat, but the wolves are still attracted to the scent. It's me that they're going to go for, not for that. So they're still attracted to the scent. So I've spied the barn. There's the barn. So I'm heading for the barn in the hope that I can kind of get away from the wolf. I think I've sort of managed to dodge through the scenery. Oh, there's a deer. Now, if all goes well, he might switch tack and go for the deer. There he is. No, my luck, I'll run into another 3 of them coming this way. I'm just going to keep heading for the time to brave Sir Robin, I think. And you'll hear me say that a lot. I can't remember if I've explained this in this series already, where I get that phrase from. Whether I've mentioned it, but you'll hear me say I'm going to brave Sir Robin it many, many times. If you've never seen Monty Python, brave Sir Robin ran away. And that's basically what I'm referring to by that. We're just going to run whenever I say that. Okay, so we're now inside. I am moving a little bit sluggishly, so I think I might actually be encumbered. I'm not. I'm just moving sluggishly. I just feel like I'm moving more slowly than normal. Whether they changed the speed in the game. Okay, but anyway, we've managed to dodge the hypothermia risk. We're now in the red barn. There's obviously nothing in here because we've pretty much looted it. However, we do have a fire barrel and we do have some crates and things that we can use for fuel. So let's cook this wolf meat. So obviously we were a bit short of food. Oh, it's gone dark. The long dark has suddenly reached its name. It's just like our storm lantern. We were pretty close to sunset, to be fair, so I'm not actually surprised that that happened. Okay, let's find the fire barrel. It's over here. And let's get a fire lit. Oh, I can't cook it because I've only got a recycled can. Well, that's embarrassing. I haven't got a cooking pot. I've only got a recycled can. Now, of course, in real life, you just place it on that rather convenient grill, but I don't think we're going to be able to do that. I'm going to give it a try anyway. I'm going to start a fire anyway. Let's take the charcoal for map making purposes. Let's just start a fire anyway. So I'm going to use, I might as well use a cattail head. I'm going to use a fire striker.
The hypothermia wouldn't kill me.
Let's get this lit and just see if we do have any options for cooking this meat. I have a feeling we're not going to, you know. We could find ourselves in a little spot of bother here. I totally forgot about that. So this tactic that I'm using is one that I've always used. Oh, no, it looks like I can. Okay. It looks like I can. Let's just add some fuel to the fire then. Might as well add all of that reclaimed wood. So that's a 3-hour fire. So let's see if it will just let me place it straight on. Oh, yes, I can. Oh, can I do multiple ones? Oh, brilliant. How many can I do? 2. Okay, well, that's great. So I actually can just put it straight on the grill. So that's a relief. Okay, it's going to take an hour to cook. Now, obviously, it was really low condition. It was about 20%, if not lower than that. So this will increase its condition. 27%. It will increase its condition. So hopefully it's going to be flame grilled wolf. It will increase its condition, so it will be safer for us to eat than if you eat raw meat in the long dark anyway, you're pretty much guaranteed to get food poisoning. It's pretty much a guarantee that that's going to happen. If you eat obviously meat that's been cooked but is below sort of 25-ish%, you're risking it. But this will raise it up. Hopefully it won't take it all the way to 100, but it'll bring it enough for it to be okay for us to eat. So we'll be able to eat this. That'll give us the calories. We'll sleep through the night and we'll get going the following morning. That's the plan. Okay, so we've got 54 minutes to wait until that's cooked. So let's, by the magic of editing, skip forward to when it's ready. Okay, so we're almost there. Wolf meat's almost done. 4 minutes in game time, 3 minutes in game time. It's probably going to be about 30 seconds in real life, I suspect, if that. So, there we are. Let's pick it up. We'll grab the other one. 700 calories, 75%. So that's not bad at all. Now, this is where the intestinal parasites affliction comes in that I mentioned. When you eat meat from carnivores, wolves, bears, you will get intestinal parasites. You will. When you eat it, you will get it. It will be relatively low. It's a risk rather than an actual affliction at this point. But if you eat too much in too quick a succession, too short a time, it will turn into a full-blown affliction. And when that happens, it can really severely affect your condition. So you need to control how much wolf meat or bear meat that you eat. I never have more than 3 pieces at once, and I will never have any more than that until that risk has dropped back down again. So I'm going to have 2 pieces. I think I might have pushed it to 4 a couple of times, but certainly no more than that. So I'm going to have the 2 that I've cooked. I haven't cooked the other 2. I mean, you see, part of me is tempted to put them on here because I've actually got plenty of sleep, fatigue in my gauge. I'm not tired. I can keep going for a while. So I am inclined to cook the other 2 as well before I get through the night. So let's put them both on. I've cooked quite a lot of reclaimed cans because I had the one I came out with and I've eaten 2 sets of canned food. So I've ended up with lots of reclaimed cans. Because cooking pots and reclaimed cans that you're using for cooking, their condition does degrade, so eventually they will fail. So I'm keeping all of these recycled cans so that I've got lots of them stockpiling up in the farmstead, so when they do go, I've got more that I can turn to. So they're going to take an hour. The fire barrel's got an hour and 27 minutes left to go on it. I'm going to drink because my dehydration is pretty bad at the minute, so I'm going to drink. So my gauges are all looking pretty good. My condition is pretty good. I don't need to sleep at the moment. Obviously I have that intestinal parasites risk, so avoid eating more meat from carnivores. So it's at 4%, so it's pretty low. It's not a major problem. It's having no impact on our condition at the moment. If you eat any more, I mean, to be fair, you could probably push it much further. You could probably take that up to sort of 10%, 20% without it being a problem. But I don't like to do that because it really does have a big effect on your condition if you actually get the affliction. So I'm going to no more than 3 pieces, maybe 4 at a push. So I might eat these other 2 once they're cooked, which should pretty much fill our calorie bar, hopefully. Because it's going to drop a bit while we're waiting for them to cook, but hopefully it won't drop below 50 and hopefully we can come back up so that we are pretty good, and we'll get through to the morning and then we can pick it up and head back over to the farmstead. So that is what I'm going to do. You've seen it all fairly straightforward. We're just going to cook the meat, eat the meat and sleep. So I think we shall wrap it up here, and I shall finish all that off and then we'll pick it back up again in the next video when we're moving on to new things and we're going to head back over to the farmstead. But one thing that we haven't really done in this series is have a look at our progress. So let's have a quick look in the journal. We're actually on day 11 of our trip through the long dark. So we are doing pretty well. We're 11 days in. We're aiming to go for as long as we can, but I want to hit that magic 100 because oddly enough I still haven't managed to hit 100 days in the long dark. So I'm hoping that we can at least reach 100 If we can reach 365 and do a whole year, that would be brilliant. If we can do that, that's certainly on the cards, on the plan. But yeah, we've done 11 days so far. We've explored 2% of the world today. Let's have a look. Can we see the overall stats? Here we are. So we're 10 full days on day 11. 13 different locations, 6% of the world. Obviously, we haven't left Pleasant Valley yet. Calories and all that kind of stuff, not too bothered. We've done 27.6 kilometres of travelling in total. We've spent 206 hours indoors and 43 hours outdoors. I'm really hoping we don't get that cabin fever affliction again. If you go back through the channel, back to the older playthroughs, we got hit by cabin fever in one of the other playthroughs that I did, and that was a pain because it was really hard to get rid of it. So I'm really hoping that doesn't happen again. But 206 hours indoors. We've actually rested for 3 hours outdoors, and I don't know where that was. That must have been in a cave. I need to look back and realise that. We've been the whole time in Pleasant Valley. 10 successful repairs. We've shot 3 things with a rifle and hit 2. One of them was to scare a wolf off. And 3 of them we actually hit. Now, wolf cloaked encounters 10. Wolf struggles 2. 1, 2. Wolves killed 2. So we did bring that other wolf down. That other wolf did go down. So it's out there somewhere, but we don't know where it is. So it's whether we want to go and try and find it to get the pelt. Because I kind of want that pelt, but I don't really know where it is. So we might do that in the next video. From here, the red barn, it's the best place to be to go and do that. So I might go and do that in the next video, actually. Go and see if we can find that wolf. Obviously, we haven't even seen... Well, we've seen the bear, but we haven't gone near it. Moose, we haven't seen the moose yet. We'll keep our eyes open for it. I haven't done any snares because I haven't had any gut to make the snare with. So we haven't done any snaring. But I want to do that because I want my rabbit skin mitts. And it's useful to have the rabbits around anyway. So yeah, we've lots and lots of stats. I love stats. In case you've not noticed before, I love stats. I always look back through the stats. But short and simple, we are on day 11 of this playthrough in the Long Dark. So thank you very much for joining me as always. I am really glad to have you with me. Please remember to hit the subscribe button, which is down there below. And over on that side is the links to the playthrough playlist for this playthrough, and also the playlist for my Wintermute playthrough. The Wintermute playthrough is going out quite slowly. It's only going out 1 video a week, so hopefully by the time that gets to the end of episode, the Wintermute episode 2 redo, episode 3 will have come out and we can just carry straight on through. That's kind of what I'm hoping. But yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, that will all pan out. But right now, thank you as always for joining me, and I shall see you again very, very soon.